Good morning. Good morning, everybody. I don't talk very loud, my voice. Can I get everybody's attention? We're going to settle in and get started. Huh? Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the 2026 State of the College address for the College of Engineering and Science. My name is Lindsay Murray. I serve as the Director of Communications and Outreach for the college. And on this Loyal Blue Friday, it's so wonderful to see so many students, faculty, alums, advisory board members. Thank y'all for being here. We're both on campus and we are streaming on YouTube Live this morning. So thank you to everybody that's joined us online. Today's address takes place during day 2 of our annual Design and Research Conference, where first-year student competitions and senior design capstone presentations are highlighting really the discovery, the innovation, and the curiosity that really define our college. We're especially grateful to the many alumni and industry leaders serving as judges and mentors last night. Many of you were here. And for those watching online, we encourage you to join in the conversation by submitting questions and in the live chat. So we'll be facilitating those during Dr. Wick's presentation. But at this time, I'd like to welcome Dr. Henderson. He is... Dr. Henderson is nearly halfway through his 3rd year as Louisiana Tech's 15th president. During his tenure, he has elevated Tech's position as a university recognized for excellence and rigor and set a new strategic framework built around Tech's vision to be an exemplar in experiential learning while advancing research to solve regional and global challenges. He has a special interest in our college as his son, Alex, and future daughter-in-law, Henley, will both graduate from COES later this month. So please join me in welcoming Dr. President Henderson.
Thank you.
Here, I gotta get you wear this also for live stream. There we go.
Very good. Well, good morning. Thank you all for being here. And I'd love to see this audience of tremendously accomplished people, many of whom are in this state because of Louisiana Tech. And if you want an example of excellence, you should have been with me and Tanya last night. Some of you were, as we walked around with business students to the Design Expo and listened to freshmen show the capstone project of their year and sell it to us over 2 minutes. So they had a minute to talk about it, a minute to demonstrate it. And what an amazing example of interdisciplinary collaboration between the College of Business, the College of Engineering and Sciences. And I left feeling very humble because I was amazed at even how someone could come up with some of the ideas that were on display. But the most amazing one was yesterday morning. On my calendar appeared 2 engineering students that wanted to do a video with me. They came to my office. They had a putter, a golf club with an instrument on it that would measure how your swing, the smoothness, the speed, everything with your golf swing, and it would alert you if you were off even a smidgen. And it took a great video of me trying to get this thing to work correctly. And then that was the video they used to sell their product to the judge, who was me. And if that is not an example of critical thinking and problem solving and creativity, I don't know what is. But it was just a remarkable display of what this college and this university are producing. You know, over a 4-month period this year, I met with 116 of the highest achieving high school students in the state of Louisiana, one-on-one in my office. We had sent them letters. I had gotten a mailing from an upscale winery in Napa that captured my attention. I opened it. It had a vellum paper on the front with their logo, had a beautifully written letter on high quality paper, and then a beautiful picture on cardstock of their winery. And I said, I want to do the same thing for Louisiana Tech. And so we sent these letters out. They didn't have anything to do with wine. They had to do with the experience that you can have at Louisiana Tech. Had my cell phone number, and I was inviting students with a 31 or higher ACT to meet with me. Well, of those 116 students, 93 are registered for orientation this summer. And I'll be honest, I was kind of kicking myself. I was a little disappointed with that number. And then they reminded me that 17 of those students don't graduate until next year. So it's pretty good batting average, I think. But it's not the meeting with me. That sets the stage. They get the best view of North Louisiana from Wiley Tower, but then they get to come and experience a taste of what their educational experience is going to be right here in this building and the remarkably upgraded Bogart Hall right next to us, the soon-to-be upgraded Nethkin Hall, which has already has some examples of what that building is going to be. Rosalind is a master at putting lipstick on a pig, and it looks fantastic. But it's the substance of the education that they get. Just a few weeks ago, Colonel Warren Ward and I and Henry Cardenas and Erica Murray went to Tinker Air Force Base. And we're walking through the third largest building in the Department of War. It's about 1 million square feet. At one end of the building, it had 2 KC-135 tankers. On the other end of the building, it had 4, all stripped down, even the paint, every element of those aircraft taken off. When you're standing in the middle of the building, you can look both directions and you can't see a plane. That's just giving you an idea of the scale. Henry thought it was his new playground as he looked at the manufacturing equipment that was on display. It's a $1.8 billion business. They have 9,000 employees. They're looking for another 2,500 because of the openings. And we left from that building, we went to the second largest building in the Department of War, where we started looking at their additive manufacturing capabilities. And I watched as Erica Murray had held court like one of the most charismatic television preachers you've ever seen, talking about corrosion, talking about materials, and watching these experts at their craft hang on to every word. That's how we elevate this institution, is telling the story that we get to see hundreds of times a year in a compelling fashion to people who can benefit from it. You know, we've got research that is addressing some of the most enduring, some of the most contemporary challenges of our time occurring at this institution. But our focus is providing the most advanced, most effective experiential learning journey for our students so that when they graduate, they can become like you, leaders in their field, leaders in life. And it's a remarkably fun place to be. She mentioned I have 2 students graduating. My son Alexander is graduating in Chem. He's accomplished a lot in his short life, but when he passed 202 with Brad Cicerelli, with a high B on his first time, that's going to be something he's going to carry with him for the rest of his life. His fiance now, Henley Hoffer, is graduating in electrical engineering. She's going to go to work with MMR in Baton Rouge. She did her internship with them. They said, don't interview with anyone else because we want you full time. She gets credit for not only graduating herself, but actually getting my son up into class and him graduating as well. But their experience that I've got to live vicariously made me want to come back and be a Louisiana Tech student. And so my suggestion to you is, as you pour yourself into these students, as you pour yourself into this program, as you support us as no other alumni base or a stakeholder base does, please send us the students to us. Not just because so we can grow as an institution, so that we can grow as a state, as an economy, as a nation, as we prepare that next generation that elevates us to even higher levels than ever. So folks, thank you so much for being here. I'm delighted that I'm going to be able to hand this off next to our extraordinary Dean, Collin Wick, and the faculty that he represents that I would put on par with anybody else in the country. So folks, thank you so much for being here, and go Dogs.
All right, Dr. Collin Wick serves as the Dean of College of Engineering and Science, where he's been a dedicated leader for 13 years. He joined the university in 2007, and he's had several leadership roles since then, including Program Chair of Chemistry, Associate Dean of Graduate Studies, Associate Dean of Research, before becoming the Dean in 2023. So please join me in welcoming Dr. Collin Wick.
Well, I'd like to always start with the vision, what we kind of have here going on, especially after the president comes on here. You have the university vision. We kind of always try to piggyback off of it. But what are we really trying to grow into? What are we really trying to do? And every time this kind of recenters us, and I kind of found this map here. I had this, I mean, we are, a little bit in the engineers, scientists. We like to look at little maps and then try to put numbers and stuff like that with that. But if you look at the map there, you see kind of that little center area, that kind of first circle, that we do a really good job of pulling from that. We have that great reputation on that. But what we've been trying to do, and with some of the efforts here actually by the president when he's trying to reach out and stuff, is to pull further and further away. Actually, northern Arkansas, they started to actually pull students from that area by, just for our college specifically, recruiting there, because they're trying to get the word out about our college. And our college really has a great reputation. The best reputation, I would say, is of our graduates. I got to talk to, the other day at the Tech and Tales, I got to talk to a couple of parents of a recent graduate, and we've talked together through some of the struggles their student had through here and all the challenges they had. But after they got out and they went on the job, their employers just kept on talking how great they were. And this student went to somewhere in the Houston area, and they said, where did you learn all this stuff? I mean, why do you know so much more than everybody else here? And says, well, I learned in college. Just like it's just, traditionally what it is. So our reputation, and that's what we kind of all inherited. Dr. Henderson, me, and a lot of us faculty here, and because a lot of alumni, if you go back way back, we have this reputation of really creating outstanding graduates. And this has been around, this is what we've had, and we're going to kind of excel at that. And the challenge there, I said, is that it's a little bit of the best kept secret. So we're trying to put different efforts of trying to get the word out a little bit better. And we actually had a communications group really trying to work in us, social media and all this sort of fun stuff, which of course maybe not the most exciting, but it is really about getting the word out there, and also in collaboration with the president to get that name out there to make us a destination. And if you look at that kind of wider kind of circles, we keep on pulling further and further away, try to get that reputation. Then once they get here, I want them to know the rigor is a given. So we already have that, and we're going to have that, and we're going to protect that every step of the way. There's a couple times at different meetings that people try to talk about, well, maybe we shouldn't do this or we should do that. That's not something that our faculty will ever do, that I can tell you anytime in the near future. But we're always going to try to improve in what we're doing, and that's a dynamic, and that's keep on trying to innovate what we do. If you were here yesterday, many of you saw kind of, we always had a good engineering program, but that program we did yesterday, the culmination of that is kind of many iterations of things to create something that's truly outstanding and truly dynamic, as I would say. And that's part of what we do. And we have many other efforts going forward. We're going to keep on constantly innovative how we do things and trying to better prepare our students and try to create the experience. But at the same time, also being supportive as we get them through that rigor. And that's kind of those are kind of really big cores about the whole college. And, and the people come here, they have to understand that. And it's something that I think is in depth and the students really appreciate it. But, educational experience, but also the research end that we do. We still have the research. We do outstanding research of innovation, intellectualism. But I think one of the things that you're going to kind of see here is more recently, we really try to push of having something that uplifts the region. And that's where that star goes into hand. At Louisiana Tech, we got to build that star a little bit better. And our greatest resource are our students, our graduates. People want access to our graduates. And now we're getting actually people moving to this area to have access to it. We had one actually in, we're trying to get them there, had some challenges with, their financing certain things, but they're in the New Orleans area and say, we just can't get enough students. And so that's why we're interested in coming to the Ruston area and relocating to some space they have there. And that's still going to be the best thing that we have there. We can keep on building more and people in there and also having access to our faculty, our outstanding faculty. But if we can do something that kind of uplifts the region, we can keep those students, we can pull them from outside instead of, and I know a lot of you are in Texas, and in Arkansas and stuff like that. And that's great that you're kind of putting the Louisiana Tech brand out there. But we still have a goal of trying to build this area up is part of what we're trying to do. And we can do that through our partnerships going forward. And so I'm going to say a little bit about the partnerships. And we've had some pretty good success here. And since the president, Davey Norris, was able to unleash, we're really trying to put these public partnerships and trying to build up the Ruston area. And of course, you probably already see, if you follow the news and stuff, you know that our partnership with Ratings Technology, of course, they're located in Huntsville, but they always have a lot of tech alumni around there, and they want to have more access to our students. So we're able to kind of work with having our microchip R&D facility located in Ruston, and that includes $17 million from the state, just to Louisiana Tech. They can help scholarships. We actually talked to some Some alumni who actually have kids here going on the scholarship. They're really excited about that, you know, in the microchip area. And then also to help have new faculty members to kind of support that as well. And then also we have other partnerships working with different people, some of them located at tech points, and some people have presence in tech points, some people elsewhere. They're kind of building here another $16 million in congressional appropriations for this coming year, starting this summer. And we're having some of the fun. We have some faculty members that are going to lead up different efforts and in a few different areas. And it's really exciting for them. And there'll be more experience, more opportunities for our students and our faculty. But the next year, when I was in DC and talking to one of the congressional offices, they said we didn't ask for enough. And so especially with Mike Johnson, and I don't know if he's going to stay as with all of the you know, congressional changes and stuff like that, but he is currently our our congressman. They said we're going to ask for more than we did last time, so we're asking for 80 million for the coming year in partnerships with that. And this is areas that's going to come to this region, uplift the region, provide more opportunity for faculty and money directly to Louisiana Tech that we can have for our different resources. And one of the neat things about it is also I talked to somebody who is located in Huntsville, and Huntsville has a lot of great public-private or a lot of little work with the Department of Defense. And now that area is kind of booming up where you're actually having a lot of traffic issues and stuff like that. There's a lot of people who want to kind of bring that to Louisiana. So we have a partnership with ULL, University of Louisiana Lafayette. We actually have a great dean of engineering there who I know fairly well. And this partnership is called the Louisiana Defense Resource Center. It's basically trying to build Huntsville in Louisiana for these Department of Defense contracts. And also, you know, in Louisiana, outside of, it's kind of said outside of LSU is what they said. I guess this is live streaming, but that's what it is. But outside of that area there, and we can kind of have working with this and try to bring that economic development kind of central and northern Louisiana. And then so that is $45 million in congressional asks as well. So these are big opportunities to kind of uplift the region, which I really think we have a great politician in our president, Dr. Henderson, but we need to kind of build up this region to kind of build in more support of having more people to support. And all of you who go out in there, make sure to kind of freak out and bring tech out there. And we'll talk about some of the challenges we have in the next slide a little bit and how we kind of address it. But one of the ways, if we can't do it with Dr. Henderson, you can see what he does and what he brings in it. I don't know who we can do it under, but we also need your help as well, and he's doing that. And overall research has been going up for the last few years, as you can see there. And so I wanted to talk about a couple priorities. I got to make sure I don't run too long. We have about 10 minutes here. One of them is hiring and retaining high quality faculty. And I think that's where it starts. We really say our best resource or our best things are students, but to have that, you have to have the high quality faculty. And one thing that we actually, Dr. Henderson would also know, and if you look at the facts, we are the lowest funded in the ULS system from the state. Not necessarily per pupil because you have tuition, stuff like that. We're the lowest funded in the ULS system. That's where we have to talk about trying to build more political clout and stuff like that. But we have the highest outcomes in the University of Louisiana system, and depending on what you go for of any public institution in Louisiana. And we've always kind of had a thing, we're going to just do more or less, more than less, more than less. And I would say we are always going to have to punch our coverage and stuff like that, but let's not get it so far out of whack. Let's try to at least bridge that gap a little bit. And where the president is really trying to push that really hard, and all of us who have any connections can try to help that. But one of the biggest things we have to do is attract and retain high quality faculty that fit within our college and the mission. And this is always a big thing we run into. Sometimes you find people that do really outstanding stuff and would be really exciting to get here. But we have to always kind of we have to find some people that fit within tech. And oftentimes you get excited, you find, as I said, we've had different searches and stuff like that. And you have to make these decisions. And oftentimes you find ones that have that dedication to the students, and but also still do high quality impact. And I think we've been doing really good of creating a great cohort of new faculty in the last few years. I'm really excited actually next year we have some faculty that I know those students will be talking about that professor that made that impact on me. I really do. I'm actually confident of that. And I'm really excited about the people we have coming, the recent people and the people we have coming in. And I think we're doing good at finding not just outstanding people, but people who fit and will all stick around and contribute to us. My fund that we have that helps with that is called the COES Excellence Funds, and that's basically its primary conduit of attracting and retaining high quality faculty. improving student outcomes and success. And one thing we did was we had a strategic plan on instruction, stuff like that, and teaching. And the big thing we found is that if a student gets through their first year, they have an 85% chance of graduating the next 4 years within the college. And so the focus is on the first year right now is kind of the current focus. And we have an educational working group, and we have established a first year's projects fund that will kind of help with this as well. But to find different ways to kind of get and retain those students. We have lots of initiatives at the sophomore level. A lot of people complain about it, but it really is the first year that makes the difference. And trying to find ways to get students to feel more welcoming, when they struggle to understand that there is an opportunity that we can kind of help them out and get them through that. And some of them, yes, well, I know I'm live streaming. I'm sorry. I know it's check it out, but some of them are destined to be pre-business, right? And that's fine. And that's what they have it in their first year. But there's a lot of them that I think we're missing out, and we got to try to maximize that as well. And we've had a lot of building updates, and Dr. Henderson talked about Rosalind, and that's something that she's kind of helped us a lot with. We had $1.4 million in renovation Bogart Hall, and it's amazing. I will hope you to please go down there. On the top floors, we have some classrooms. In the bottom floor, we have a lot of laboratory upgrades in mechanical, chemical engineering, civil, construction, engineering, technology. With that, and in Nethkin Hall, we have nearly completion. I mean, it's like furniture's going in. It's just, I mean, it's really just almost there. Of a $200,000 state-of-the-art AI lab in Nethkin Hall, and it's pretty neat. And future plans, we're working now, trying to work. And I see there's some Entergy here, but we're trying to work with Entergy and some of also the utilities, but if people to try to upgrade electrical engineering laboratories and the common spaces, the kind of bathroom look, was cool 70 years ago, but we're trying to work on kind of slowly to kind of fix that as well, obviously, as part of it. And then also in Bogart Hall, we're not forgetting about it. We want to kind of create a common maker space is kind of our first sort of goal. It's to try to we have an idea of where it's kind of built and stuff like that. And if you go there, the machine shop, there's a lot of great equipment that was state-of-the-art a long time ago. We're going to try to work to upgrade that and make sure you have the right safety and things like that. So we have a space where a lot of students will be working in there. And as we're kind of running short on time, I'm just going to jump through faculty student headcount. I have kind of an estimate for next fall. We expect record enrollment, pretty close. There are supposed to be more students coming next fall than there were this previous fall, and I expect us to jump a little bit higher than we were before. We went down a little bit for different reasons. But in number of faculty, it'll probably be steady, maybe a little bit higher. Our student-faculty ratio, I have that circle since I've become dean, and I kind of noticed it's a little bit higher than it was before. But we do have some financial challenges, as you can see. We're even the highest outcome, but the lowest funded state in there, and we're trying to find different creative ways. We're trying to work with partners. The president does have has a way to try to get an endowment going to try to support that as well, and also to put pressure in Baton Rouge on it. We have it there. And then just a couple things here. I don't want to, administration highlights and things. This is just mostly for y'all to see. But since we're short on time, I'm just going to kind of jump to one of the great things of our students is that companies will pay us to have access to them. And we have this industrial partner program in student organizations with our 32 student organizations that the organizations in this program support. Find a place for students to belong and feel accepted. Of course, in your companies, please reach out to find ways to become partners, and you get access. You really get the true access to really find the top students in that, and that helps support different activities with our students in particular. And they're all great efforts that kind of improve, as I said, the environment for that. But with that, there's my cell number and my email. If you have anything to help keep the college going, moving forward, anybody. I really just let me know. I'm open to any ideas or suggestions. We always could use. It's always good to get the outside perspective. We always appreciate it. Thank you. I can probably take one or two questions real quick. Yes.
Do y'all have any any numbers on this year's graduating class in terms of job placement?
Well, I had last year's job placement class since it was around 90%. Computer science was a little bit lower than 90%. Engineering was a little bit higher than that, but it was about 91%. I usually do 6 months out because, then right now and that. Now, Yeah, I mean, and that's what we've kind of have on there. And I generally get that, you'll get that the year before. We usually like to have it within 6 months, but that's what it's been in that case. So, and job placement, he asked about job placement. I'm sorry, I should have reset it right here. Well, I think you have to go get to your, your advisory boards. Thank you for coming, you're participating here, and your support. We really appreciate it. Thank you all.
All right.
Is
Good
that
job. Yep. Turn this off.
Okay.
Thank you.